Here we go. Welcome to this cast of the 3v3 Fighters final in the 1650 to 1800 bracket. So this is my own tournament. I am hosting it, and it's a 3 versus 3 tournament across 6 different brackets, ELO brackets. So spanning from 1000 ELO and up to 2000 plus in hopefully reasonable divisions. So the finalists here are Dark Leaders versus particularly skilled in booming maps, which I'm going to refer to as PSIB for sure. It's a bit easier. Let's have a look into the Sims here. Okay, so here's the thing. It's a best of 7, so there aren't actually enough Sims to draft for a full best of 7. So the first game is Hidden Sim, free pick, and no reuse, while the 6 remaining maps or potential matches will involve a drafting of 36 Sims total that will be used throughout the best of 7. Exclamation mark maps for the maps, exclamation mark draft for the draft. And let's go. Oh, Setan, sorry to hear that. Stay around and thanks for the wishes. Setting us here with the Mayans, classic flank pick for Arabia, of course. Cheaper archers, longer lasting economy, and yeah, potential great Eagle warriors for late game raids with their El Dorado upgrades, giving the Eagles plus 40 hit points, so 100 hit points Eagle warriors, elite Eagle warriors rather. Such a pain to deal with. In the pocket, we have Darkwind here with the Berbers. So picking the Berbers for Arabia actually, but I guess the idea is to counterpick Mad Tomsky's Franks here, to have the option of cheaper cavalry in the Castle Age, which Berbers will benefit a lot from with a cheap faster Castle Age, and they also have access to heavy camels in the late game, which will also obviously come in handy against the Franks cavalry. Though heavy camels will struggle a bit against the Knight, or rather Paladin Arbalest combo in the late game, so we'll see how that progresses for them. Topside, Aya with the Britons, again, full try-hard pick from both sides here probably. Britons 20% faster working ranges as a team bonus, obviously benefiting the Mayans as well. Oh, are we going to lane? We might see a lane here. Teal is here as well, gonna have a little bit of a run-in. If Forastero gets the first hit here, he'll be able to take a fight against the Scout here. I could snipe Scouting Sheep, but that's about it. Not much else to be lamed here, the Rhino all the way over here. Alright, so for the outside, Forastero with the Mayans. As mentioned, so we have a Mayans versus Britons on the top side here. Not ideal for the Mayans, as Britons also get extra range on the crossbows and arbalest throughout the Castle and Imperial Ages. But Mayans, cheaper archers, at least in the spot to outmaster the Britons if need be. Pocket, as slightly mentioned, Mad Tomsky with the Franks, already placing 3 houses as part of a wall off here. Doesn't want to take any chances, wants to be on the safe side, and actually has a fairly easy wall off here towards the edge of the map if you pay extra attention to the pond here. You need a palisade here, No, wait, actually not. You don't need to wall all the way to the edge here, it's enough to wall until here, and the enemy units can't pass on this side. Between the woodlines here, easy wall off as well. We'll probably wall out here to make sure both woodlines are safe, at least long term. Franks, 20% more hit points of the cavalry starting in the feudal age. Very beneficial throughout the... Oh, that's so scary! A weak villager hitting the Rhino again and again, but it's all to allow the Rhino to deplete before going on to the next one. Here comes the pre-milled rush from Mr. Dobson here, presumably pretty early. Also Britons over here, so Britons, Mayans, flanks, no big surprise there. But Berbers, as mentioned, for Darkwind as a potential counter pick here. Looks like they're mirroring the rush approach here. Could be a reaction by Osetinas as well to have some RB to deal with the early Dark Age pressure here happening at 740. So it's a very nice rush build order here from Mr. Dobson. Idle this time at the bare absolute minimum here. So the goal with the rush isn't necessarily to kill villagers, but to cause idle time. You see the worker repair time here, that's affecting the food income of Osetinas. And it's also buying time to wall off at home. You see the whole left side of Mr. Dobson's base is walled here, and that's the most important side to wall in terms of holding off against the other flank's aggression. But yeah, they're gonna cancel out each other's armies here. Might both lose their... No, wait. Red won't lose the scout, actually. We will pick off Mr. Dobson's scout here, potentially. Mad Tomsky joining in as well. Often seen on the higher level. The pocket joining in with the starting scout as well to make the Drush even more annoying and increase the damage potential. Feudal Age is in for Mad Tomsky, 2 seconds idle this time. Absolutely acceptable here. Goes for the more local walling rather than all the way to the edge, which is fine. You could extend the walls later. Top side, there's a... Is it Men at Archery? No, it's a Drush coming in for Aya as well. I believe that might have been a post-mill Drush because it's kicking in later here. Doesn't mean damage won't be done. Clever walling here from Forastero though to funnel the militia aggression in towards the DC. Could do the same thing on the other side as well, and then there's very little damage to be done with these orange militia, aka Angry Housewives, on my channel. So Forastero holds up against the pressure, which means Orange will be looking for another point of entry here towards the berries, and still open, but that's about to be walled. Good defense by Forastero, however, losing one builder at some point here, and I guess that's, yeah, a result of the aggression after all. Yeah, at best Aya will just pound at walls here and cause a little bit of idle time through the walling behind. Ooh, Forastero even deleting the small walls on the goal there, knowing that the Drush has moved on to the other side, and that the first few archers can clean this up, no problem. Frank's scouts now out on the field, and Berber's scouts as well, of course. Seems to be roughly equal in numbers, which is not good news for the Berbers, not having that 54 HP that the Franks do. Double ranges for Ossetinas here, not freaking out over the scouts rushing in about here, small walls keeping stuff around. Scout run in here, more numbers for the Berbers now, at least collected here, so that's good news for the purple player here. 6 to 5, that's slight HP lead, but more importantly numbers lead for the Berbers player here. Small walls deleted there while Ossetinas wants to send in more villagers to get to the goal, and that's gonna be a kill. That's a good engagement by Mad Tomsky there. Top side, we have the first few Mayans archers moving out here as well. And double walls now from Aya should keep this aggression out for a good while yet. So yeah, good walling here from the Britons' main goal, and dream spot way behind there. Not easily denied at all. They'll need to break through before doing anything. Any significant damage here. And here's PSIB with the pressure on Ossetinas yet again here. How many scouts now? 6 scouts, 6 archers. Dangerous 2 vs 1 situation here. However, Ossetinas has the archers out as well, and they're kind of matching in numbers here. Looks like a good engagement for the purple scouts here. Mr. Dobson pulling away a little bit as well, knowing that red has slightly higher numbers. The Frank scouts taking some hits here. So now only 5 scouts for the Franks, 8 scouts for the Berbers. Good job at conserving the numbers here for Dark Win. And they stay close to the hill here for potential hill advantage as well. More archers joining in for Mr. Dobson though. While on the top side, Forastero is going to fight in a sort of a 1 vs 1 up here, even added mixed in a skirmisher here. And since all of the cavalry is on the other side of the map, it's perfectly fine to mix in a few skirmishers. In other scenarios where the scouts are close, then the scouts will easily snipe the skirmishers, so we have to be careful there, of course. Let's see, the collected armies here is a slight numbers lead for the Berbers and the Mayans here, but nothing too crazy. But Scouts numbers, as mentioned earlier, way higher. And behind this, Aya, with the Britons also going Castle Age here. Not a crazy amount of archers here to be upgraded, but then again, the teal player only has 10 archers as well, and it's still in the feudal age, so if the Britons player gets to the castle age and crossbows, Bodkin here already has the extra range, right, from that Britons bonus. Doesn't even need to research Bodkin to get another +1 range. Good defense from Aya at home, while Osetinas has sadly lost 5 builders at home base here and is subject to a 2 vs 1 situation here. Forastero not quite succeeding on pushing the Britons on the left side here. He's moving on to hit the pocket instead now. What's the scouting? Nope, moving away actually. Looked like I want to hit the Berbers' pocket for a moment there, which might not be a bad idea given the Berbers' advancement to... Wait, not advancing to the castle age yet actually. None of the pockets have gone up to the next age here. Bloodlines coming in. There's actually going to be an extended feudal age here. Second stable going up. Is Castle Age queued maybe? Resources still missing some food. I'm surprised at the early bloodlines here and committing to the scouts play. I mean, that's food and gold investment that will really delay the Castle Age and put Berbers behind the Franks to the Castle Age. And while you really want to be the first one to the Castle Age as the Berbers over the Franks. But you need to commit to armies as well, of course. You see some scouts have been lost here. And it's crucial to have some scouts mixed in there together with Osetinas archers to keep being able to defend against the offensives here. Topside, Britons on the move, that extra range with Podkin and the Britons +1 bonus means that any Mangonel and the siege defense from Forastero is going to be rough here. It's yeah, basically outraging Mangonels. Teal has the numbers though, but can absolutely not engage against the Britons until Crossbow Bodkin is in, and still the Britons will have extra range. So Aya could be getting favorable engagements here. So the draft does not apply to the first game on Arabia here, because there simply aren't enough civs. But for the potential remaining 6 games, a draft will be done drafting 36 civilizations for the remaining 6 maps. So we'll have a look at the draft after. Oh, look at the split bike row here. You can't really use the range anymore, but considering the lower numbers here and Forastero's lack of Bodkin crossbow until this moment, that's a great fight for Aya still. We'll also have the Britons archery range speed to boost the numbers back home here. Let's go back to the south and see the fight down here. His crossbow is in for Mr. Dobson here with the Britons. That extra range will apply yet again here, but Osetinas has a fairly decent chunk of archers here, holding off nicely with the Mayans here, but crossbows almost matching the archers' numbers. Scary for Osetinas here, who is not going to see Castle Age anytime soon, having lost 10 builders total. And these bars here show the gold and food needed to go to the next stage, so Osetinas will have to be incredibly patient there. He's actually going into tower defense to limit the archer's aggression potential, the very crucial resources like gold and wood here. And wants to preserve the archer numbers, of course, wants to get to Castle Age, to crossbows, and contest the numbers here. But guess what? The Franks pocket already has knights out. The Berbers pocket not in the Castle Age yet. Dark Leaders, they are in a very rough spot here against particularly skilled in booming maps. Darkin finds his way to the Castle Age now, probably has 3 stables, being the Berbers here. Actually, no. Oh, there's the gate, so never mind. There is an exit at 4th stable. Berbers have 15% cheaper cavalry in the castle age, and with 4 stables, that it's another addition using the wood to boost the knight's production and try to catch up. Was it 5? Oh, there are 5 stables. Yikes. Well, I mean, the reason is obvious here. You really, if you're floating wood and you can afford another stable at this point, just do it, because we're way behind the Franks in the Knights numbers. So 5 stables, cheaper Berber's cavalry, gives you a chance to catch up with the numbers more quickly, even if you don't have the resources to sustain 5 stables just like that. It helps the early production. See that 4 stables producing. Yeah, it could be 1 too much. I agree that 4 would be sufficient. But, I mean, if you have the wood, there's still wood in the bank for Darkwind, right? So it doesn't even affect the potential additional TCs here. Drops another TC. Oof. Osetinas is losing the ranges here. Still has the archers numbers and is going castle age here. And it's amazing that it's still been able to conserve the numbers here. Even garrison some of the archers inside the TC here to keep them safe. Berber's Knights numbers catching up here. 15 Knights to the rank 16. And not really any reason to mix in camels here because of the crossbow masses. But let's see the engagement here. +2 is in for the Berbers as well. More knights trickling in here, while Osetinas takes the small numbers of the Franks knights. They're splitting up here. This is not good news for PSIB here. They might risk losing numbers. I mean, there's Franks knights left and right here. Almost feel like the Bad Tomsky's knights should be chasing these archers before the upgrade, because you never know when Osetinas is going to reach the actual castle age here. More rangers, cheaper archers for the mines in the castle age. They will be 20% cheaper. Oh, what's up in top side here? Just a little bit of 1 versus 1 action here between the orange and field players. Yeah, back to 2 double stables production, but also adding some scouts here, so making good use of the resources still. Whatever army you can field is going to help the total efforts here after all. Yeah, 4 stable knights still. What's the eco setup like here? 18 on gold, 27 on food. Not too bad. Might impair builder production for a bit though. Nah, not really. Okay. Power of the Berbers, I guess, but they will fall behind in the Imperial Age, not having access to Paladins against the Franks. Extra hit points Paladins here. Oh, these guys are just chilling out. Should be joining the fight. So, somewhat equal in mass here, but the crossbow mass, that is the main concern here. It's PSIB with 48 crossbows down here now, and also the Mayans player actually keeping up to the Britons here with 25 to 21, so... say PSIB is in a good spot here. There's some Franks cavalry joining in on the efforts against the Britons on this side as well. Good call at this point, having done so much damage to Osetinas in the red. Taking the hill here now, regrouping with some more pocket forces joining in. Oh, dangerous to dance around with the knights outside of here, but the crossbows join in to get some hits. There's that Britain's range though. Always so annoying to play against when you are on somewhat of a generic archer civilization. Not full advantage being taken of the range by Orange from behind the walls here, but still getting lots of pick-offs here and... yeah, producing out of 3 ranges as well. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Nope. Get out! Oh, Madpomsky wasting a few knights there inside of enemy base. There's an opening to the left-hand side. I can't really see that, but you'll have to pass next to a TC, so that's not ideal for the crossbows. Market for Aya now may be looking to adjust some resources here for further production, but that gets denied. Darkwind, however, joining in with a huge mass of Berbers Knights, you know, 30 Knights total for the Berbers now, effectively outnumbering the Franks, but guess what? Darkwind will be needing to pull back home ASAP here to deal with the raids of the two armies of Mr. Dobson and Bad Tomsky here. Osetinas joining in with the crossbows as well, but that alone is not going to... This is in fact quite risky here to run in with the crossbows on this one. Speaking of some reinforcements, which is fantastic. 1 TC might be going down for Darkwind here though, and the Knights joining in. Oh, huge masses here. Who has the better one? It's quite equal, in fact. Yeah, pulling over to the side to find a hill to seek shelter. And is that Imperial Age coming in? Yeah, exactly. Mr. Dobson hiding away the crossbow his hill while waiting for that Imperial Age upgrade to kick in. It's going to come in for the Britons up north as well, but still almost 3 minutes to go here while Blue just reached it. Mr. Dobson with the Britons now with crossbows with 5+4 range and with Bracer Arbalest, or Bracer rather, that's going to be 5+5 against Berber's Cattle Age Knights. Not any sign of Imperial Age and Plate Barding armor here just yet. Mad Tomsky in front with outnumbered in the Knights, but with Arbalest and Bracer kicking in here, it should still be good potential for a hit and run here for Darken. Of course, they have to dive now against these forces. But choke point in the woodline here for Mr. Dobbs, and that's a lot of Berber's cavalry lost here. I don't know what to say about the crossbow mass of the Britons being lost here though, but that's a lot of army going down for Dark Leaders here. But also for PSIB, obviously. Frank's Knights matching the numbers of the Berbers currently. Neither of them up to the Imperial Age, but Frank's with the economy presumably closer here. I guess that it was a very favorable engagement for Dark Leaders, though. They left still with an army lead here. Arya has been defending like a champ at home base here, not letting the aggression in. Strategic castle on the hill here, protecting the secondary gold and the woodline over here as well. Nice defensive plays, very patient, but all set in us, however. 27 villagers only, not a pretty sight at this stage in the game, with the Frank's pocket now also going Imperial Age with triple stables production and a couple more TCs, even extending the boom even further. Wyatt's crossbows actually outnumbering the Arbs now. Now the range and the extra damage will be doing Mr. Dobson favors here still because of the Britons' 5+5 range to the crossbows, 5+2 still in the Castle Age here for Osetinas. No, I guess Aya could sling being in the Imperial Age, but maybe there's no particular resources to sling other than wood. That doesn't help the progression towards the next age here. Big fight in the middle here. Not sure who that favors, to be honest. It's army numbers quite comparable here. Nice stroke point for Osetinas. Yeah, they're cleaning up. Okay, that's a good fight for Dark Leaders again here. I like the fact that Osetinas hasn't had a TC for a long time here, so no idle TC time for the red player here, not having a TC at all. Rebuilding it to the south here, holding on. But as you can see from the eco numbers here, Dark Leaders more than 100 villagers behind. That's never a good sign at the 40-minute game, reaching the Imperial Age. Forward castle for Mr. Dobson here as well. Krebs popping out and taking one of the golds of Osetinas here. But they are persistent, if anything, here, Dark Leaders. They are hanging on, even if their overall population is more than 100 behind PSIB. Trebbing the tower. It's probably going to take just 2 trebuchet projectiles, 2.5. 27 villagers and tiny reboom from Osetinas down here. Berber's Knights 32 and stopping and idling for the Imperial Age maybe. Might be missing the second building, missing the buildings. Here we go, Monastery University, that shaves off, or I mean that delays that Castle Age transition by a lot. In fact, not having the buildings ready. Classic, we've all been there. But the army numbers, decent. They're actually matching here. So RV wins fights, Eco doesn't necessarily do so, but obviously PSIB, they can afford to lose more overall. I'm not loving the crossbow situation for Forastero though. As Aya here with the Britons is with Arbalesters and pushing the Mayan player up north here now. So if Aya can pull up a big push to the north side here, there might still be hope for Dark Leaders, but they have to make a lot of damage to the overall population of PSIB to do so. Just look at it. It's 120 population lead now for PSIB. Berber's pocket going, Imperial Age 42 knights to become Cavaliers here. But guess what? Mad Pomsky with the Franks already has Cavalier, has 30 of them out on the field. No castles for the Franks, so no chivalry to create the units much more quickly. But Osetinas yet again losing the crossbow mass here, which essentially turns this game into a 2 vs 3 in terms of military here. Hi there, Aya. Welcome. 89 to 67 now, PSIB establishing a military lead. It's a good 1-1 situation over here, but look at the blue presence here extending more and more towards the west for Mr. Dobson here. They are extending the push. Yeah, looks like PSIB might have this game in the pocket. Here's the Imperial Age kicking in for Forastero as well, who basically only needs to hold, and is doing so here. Keeping the castle up, withstanding the Britain's push, while his teammates can apply further pressure. Kill yet another TC of Osetinas, who yet again is left without a town center. It's down to 19 villagers, and probably has his screaming GG to his teammates here with 41 Franks Paladins on the field. Only 18 pop total with the red player at the brink of defeat here. I'm not sure if I've ever seen an actual defeat at the 1650 plus level in a team game before, except for extraordinary setups like sudden death and similar game settings. They're still making army though, still matching in military somehow with Cavalier and now Light Cav as well for Darkwind here. Maybe they are hoping to push back Mayans in the north side here enough to get back into it. But there it is. The GD is called PSIB taking the first win. Let's have a look at the stats and have a look at the draft for the remaining 6 maps as well. GG indeed. That's a ridiculous KD for the Franks. 237 to 111. With the economy well ahead for PSIB. Particularly skilled in booming maps. Maybe this was a booming map indeed. Any map can be a booming map, as we know. If you make it that way. Didn't lose a single villager. Mad Tomsky in the pocket. Never got hit at home. Boom maps. Well, what's the difference? Particularly skilled in boom maps. Boom. Alright, I'm gonna pull up the next one. Yeah, it's shorter. Where's the draft? Here it is. Just a moment, I need to plug in the cable on my internet, hoping it will help out a little bit. But have a look at the draft meanwhile. Here are the maps. Perfect. So, map picks and bans in the chat there. Exclamation mark maps if you didn't see it. And we should now be going to Dark Leaders home map. And they have picked Hideout, Celotes, Desert, Void as their home maps. And I don't know which map is coming up, so let's just dive into it. It's a bit difficult to theorize now. I have all the recorded games, so I could just pull up the recorded file to see the civs instead of speculating here. So let's just go into it. Cannot connect to Steam. I hope we can after fixing this one. Game 2. Desert Void. It is, as the first map, that's basically do-it-yourself hideout. So let's just dive into it and see what they bring for this one. Yeah, Desert Void is intense. I need to set the teams here again. That's what happens when you have different hosts. Dark. Come on, Dark. Leaders. PSIP. And it's already 1-0 for PSIP here. Alright, Desert Void. As you can see, all of the resources spawn here on your starting TC. Gold a bit outside, yes, but between these woodlands, it's a no-brainer. You wall off and go past castle in most cases here. You could possibly pull off a pre-build rush, but even the pre-build rush will happen at the 7th minute at the earliest, so at that time, if your opponent's scouting is on point, they will be walling you out, and you won't be doing any damage. The only exception here might be Lithuanian's instant rush, which might be able to enter the base, but then again, it's still so compact you could easily wall in towards the TC, so not favoring early aggression here. It's like a fake hideout, this one. But let's have a look at the civilizations. In my opinion, this map favors one extended one town center aggression, but that's not to say it can't develop into anything more. And since it's a team game map, in 1v1 you don't have trade, right? So you'll run out of gold and wood and everything, but there is potential for trades in the corners here in the team game, so which could lead into longer games if it turns into a stalemate here. So, for PSIV, Bohemians. Famous or infamous on the closed maps, this new addition to the Civ pool of Age of Empires 2. You could go Monk Rush, because if you go for the Monk Rush here, Bohemians have monasteries costing only 75 wood, and if you go for a Monk Rush, it's incredibly hard to defend on this map, because the stone is scattered in small piles across the map. It's not easily accessible at all. It's neutral piles randomly spread across the map. So while guard tower and castle defense is the best to keep a monk rush out, that's not really an option in Desert Void. Of course, you could go archers with Bohemians into crossbows, which in Castle Age have access to chemistry as the only civilization. So that's one extra damage for the crossbows in the Castle Age, which could be huge. Compared with Madtomsky with the Franks pocket here now. So playing the Franks again here, because the first game was hidden Civ free pick. Now it's draft, and Franks are being used in the very first game here on this semi-closed or easily closed map, I'd say. It's an open land map, but as we can see, they're already walling off here. So basically, do-it-yourself hideout. And finally, Mr. Dobson topside here with the Mayans, not wasting the tryhard picks here. It is not PSIB's home map after all, so they're not taking any chances here. Looks like they want to play the classic scouts, or maybe not scouts archers, but knights, knight crossbow meta here. Why like that? Why not? Why not towards the edge of the map? Why? This is shorter. Anyway, we'll make a full circle of walls here. So it's about builder efficiency, I guess, to keep the resources safe. You still have the main gold, but why not just to the edge of the map? Can't hold Palisade Wells so far away from the base. No, but you could place a Palisade Gate here and Palisade Gate here when they try to break in through the edge. So it should be enough to just get a heads up from when they hit the walls on the edge to wall behind. Anyway, it's more efficient because the villager can return to work, have a shorter walk back home afterwards. So it's fine. Well, Settlers here with the Indians wanting to counterpick the Franks, no doubt. So seeing the in the draft here. Most that Franks are indeed an option, and to have the Indians, camels, heavy camels, and eventually Imperial camels could be useful here. I'm a bit surprised to see the block here. Premium Drush from red. Oh, here we go. Will actually succeed to go in. Drush fast castles for the Indians then, presumably. Indians have good cav archers as well. No hills to fall back on here on this map. But Drush enters, and Mr. Dobson doesn't really have any Drush scouted there. No scouting intel has been pushing their good walls in towards the TC, though. It's really limits the Drush aggression here. Gonna take some big hits from the TC here. One militia almost down. Not the best damage done by Osetinas here. We will maybe just move on and try and hit pocket instead. Oh, he's trying moving next to TC again. What is this? Very good defense on Mr. Dobson indeed, especially not having scouted the Drush to a wall like this, and that's of course the comfort of having the TC close to the resources like this. You just place a house and suddenly the militia will take TC damage immediately. Yeah, shouldn't be any big issues holding this. Let's have a look at, that's Indians, and Dufon with the Berbers pocket here. Wants that cheap cavalry again, and I agree with Berbers for this map. In my opinion, again, it's map favors 1 TC extended aggression. So that's potentially going to come in handy here. Darkwind with the Saracens down south here will have no problem whatsoever breaking through the walls, and also having that better market rates could be significant should this go to a very late game, because Saracens will trade at better rates overall. Don't like men at arms without powers on this map. Yeah, and the stone is not easily accessible either, so you can't really go men at arms towers on this map. Otherwise, towers would be awesome. Gulage is in for Mr. Dobson, now places a range as well, will produce the first 2 archers and just easily deal with this rush. Dufon joining in with Osetinas maybe over to the side here. The scouting is really limited here. They've been greedy with pushing all of the deer and just now walling off. It's up on the other side, Forastero. I mean, I guess there's not really any need to scout a lot on this map, because you know the placements are fixed, so you're going to find the other flank over here, pocket and to the side, so no big surprises there if you've practiced a little bit on the map. Just keep pounding away at the lumber camp here, at least forcing repairs, which is taking a tiny drain on the wood income of Mr. Dobson, but it doesn't really set back Mr. Dobson at all here. Now going Castle Age with Dark Leaders all in the feudal age soon enough. But a big lead to the Castle Age for PSIB here. Frank's wall up straight past Castle as well. Good approach here. Double stables, gonna pump out those knights and start pushing probably one of the flanks to start with. But we'll see. Just having a small look at the scouting here. Double ranges for the Bohemians here. 3 ranges, in fact. Easier to sustain with fewer on gold as well, because Bohemians get the mining camp upgrades instantly. So it's not going to be the Monk Rush, sadly. It's going to be the triple range archers with relatively early ballistics and chemistry, presumably, from the Bohemians here. Double stables for the Berbers here, so not 5 stables like the previous game. Keeping up with the ranks decently here, of course. Actually going up at 30 poppy, which might not be a bad idea with the Berbers to have that kind of economy supporting the Castle Age production, even if it means being slightly above 1 minute behind the Frank's pocket here. Again, you don't want to be behind, you don't want to be later to the Castle Age necessarily than the opposing pocket, even if you have the cheaper cavalry to mass up more easily. It's Berbers shine when they are ahead in the Castle Age. But you don't have an eco bonus like the Franks do, so maybe it's beneficial to go up at a few more villagers as well. With Rush moving on to the pocket here now. Got to be cleaned up by knights here, so that's going to be made quick work of by Mad Tomsky here. No big issues cleaning up the militia here. Double stables housed now, but otherwise consistent production here. Does have only 7 on gold though, so we'll need 10 on gold with gold mining to sustain double stable production, but yeah. 4 knights out before the Berbers get to knight's production here. Saracens with the crossbows. 2 ranges here. With Mr. Dobson now ready to push on Osetinas here, who tries to... actually makes the good call here, using 100 stone and 275 wood to drop a TC on the main gold here, and that secures the main gold basically completely from crossbow aggression here. I like that, even if this isn't necessarily a boom map in that sense. It's a significant defensive addition to secure the gold from especially ranged aggression. Of course, it doesn't necessarily keep the knights with... well, +2 isn't in yet actually, but when the knights have +2 armor, they could sit underneath TC Fire and not take a lot of damage. But let's see if they manage to break through here or not. Nice house walls here from Osetinas. Will drop another house and delay the aggression at the very least. Going to take a beating here in the 2 vs 1 situation again here, Luis. What do these players have against Osetinas? Why is they always taking the beating on blank first here? It's being ganged up 2 vs 1 here. But here's Knight's crossbows going to hit the Bohemians here as well. The monastery is up actually. Good defensive measures taken here by Forastero to deal with small numbers of Berbers cavalry here. But of course with the crossbows and their 5+2 range, they can almost match the monk's range and snipe the monks if the monk gets too close to the cavalry and the crossbows. It is 2 vs 1 on either flank here though, and for now, Mad Tomsky's side didn't really get any... oh, Osetinas lost 2 villagers. Yeah, so there's more damage being done on the top side here, but nothing too crazy. Disregarding the fact that PSIB has slightly more military, it's actually quite even here in terms of total population, and eco tiny bit ahead for not leaders as well. With the 2 TCs of Osetinas here, presumably going to get to production here. Indians have a fantastic boom if you can get to it. Darkwing doing good job at idling some economy here. Has the Saracens could easily break through building foundations as well with 15 crossbows and counting here, while Indians going for the cavalry archers here. Good reaction from Dufon here, going to stay and extended 1 TC here with the Berbers and place preemptive defensive tower on the main gold here to make sure that that's the only gold inside of the walls, so that really needs to be secured. It doesn't really go for any repairs on the stable here, but could potentially re-wall over here. That's some dangerous damage potentially for PSIB though. They break through the stables. They will not stop the quick walls just yet, but the crossbows could get some hits in, but not sure how much the crossbows want to compete here with the tower with some villagers inside here. Getting some hits in, but that Frank's cavalry numbers is getting scary. 18 knights for the Franks, no production whatsoever from the stables for the Berbers currently. Struggling for gold, struggling big time for gold here with the main gold denied. No gold being mined for Dufon here. The market is there, you could tweak the economy potentially with the market, but there's not really much economy to tweak here. 5 villagers down for Dufon and counting, plus 2 defense for the Franks Knights here. Joined in by the crossbows. This is going to be tough to defend here. Darkwing, of course, joining in with the crossbows here to help take the fight, but lots of idle time for Dufon here, and yes, they're chasing away the aggression for now. Some Cav Watchers joining in for the Indians. 3 vs 2 situation here now. That mobility of the Cav Watchers certainly helping out here for Dark Leaders. Meanwhile, Forastero with a wave of crossbows now going to cripple the reinforcements of the Saracens here. As you see, the 3 vs 2 combination here. The Dark Leaders definitely with the numbers here. Could be looking at a very good fight here. Cavalry Archers 6+2 attack, 4+2 range. Yes, this is not bad at all. Mr. Dobson losing the crossbow mass here does have more at home, of course, ready to move out for a second wave, knowing that the Indians' armies are over here. Could be looking at some great damage potential, and they just not going to let the Berbers back into their fantastic job at denying the main goal of Dufon here, severely limiting the cavalry mass potentially. Yes, still 16 knights alive here. I'm gonna pull them back home here now to deal with the aggression here, but that 1 TC aggression is going to stay for a while with 125 stone committed to a tower. And in the tower even going down now defensively. This could be a short game on this Desert Void map actually if the Berbers player keeps getting denied of gold here. Taking some losses as well. 7 builders down, good pressure being applied by PSIB now, and more pocket cavalry also engaging against the Saracens at the home base here. Great aggression by PSIB here. You'd think that's almost their home map, but that's actually not the case here. Bought stone for not eating now, the stone has been mined, that's not the case, so Dufon not able to get the TC up on the main goal though. Admirable defense here against the forwards though, and still potential for stabilization here, but the army strength of PSIB is about to get an
Akkal drink Akkal Umut Denise Akkal angry housewife Akkal Akkal scout Akkal horn.
Cheers. Thanks for the resub, Bungo. 8 months? What? Looking forward to our match tomorrow, huh? I'm playing versus Magnolia in Streaming of the Years. Streaming in the Years. All-Stars tourney or something. That's a streamer's 1v1 tournament with an a 1400 elo cap, I think. So BN and Magnolia are up in the round of 32. Tomorrow evening. Oh, it's dangerous for Forastero here with the crossbow masses. 2 vs 1 situation here. Should be an easy fight for Darkwing and Dufon to win. But they're not staying together! They're not staying together! Is chemistry in Portil? Shoot! Show me. Yeah, chemistry is in. It's still a good fight. Still a decent fight. I guess they were just a bit of a slip there, not staying together. But they're getting great trades here against Yild's masses. Now, forward seat workshop being added by Mr. Dobson here. This is where the main pressure is being applied here now on Osetinas here, who admittedly has the biggest boom of his team. And cavalry archer numbers extending to a very nice mass here as well. Always scary, the huge mass of cavalry archers as the game moves on. Of course, you want to use that mobility to preserve the numbers and get to the Imperial Age, party and tactics, bracer, etc., etc. So I have to be careful with the numbers here. It's not... it's nice that the Berbers Knights are still alive here, but that goal being denied for so much is a Huge issue for Dufon here to keep up with the masses. Arbalest is in for Mayans here for Mr. Dobson as well. Now taking another hit on Osetinas here. And look at the Knights masses here now. We have 21 Knights for Mad Tomsky. That's enough to take out the town center. And now with the Arbs joining in, they could snipe some of the cavalry archers as well and just melt these unit mass. Choke point or not, Arbalesters in decent mass, they should be dealing alright with the cavalry archers as well. And I don't think Madonsky even minds at this point. Replenishing knights out of 2 and 3 tables here. Overall, good military production here for PSIB, while main gold of red gets denied here, and EC might or might not go down here. It's at 220 HP at this point. I mean, all things considered, Osetinas is losing very few cav archers here. So I'd have to say admirable defense. I don't know what happened. I guess the Arbs finished the TC over here. There are 3 TCs for Dufon in the pocket as well. So trying to re-establish an economy here. The eco numbers are quite similar here. PSIB 20 villagers or so ahead. But none of them have wheelbarrows, so their farmers are less efficient than, for example, Osetinas' farmers here. With Arbalesters out, it doesn't make sense to make any Campbell switch here for Osetinas, as the Saracens crossbows join in over here. The Berbers cavalry is back on the field as well. Knights, numbers of the Franks slightly ahead, but the stats otherwise quite similar, both with +2 defense. Not stressing the attack upgrades, it's not that significant at this point. We're back at the 2 vs 3 situation here though, but that also renders Darkwing very defenseless at home, having to join in the fight up north. So it allows Forastero to deny the gold of the Saracens. Side gold over here. Where's the other one? In fact, yeah, it's here. Oh, horrible gold spots for Darkwing here, given the aggression. Good mangonel shot, but we'll have to defend. Have some next level defense here, not to lose too many builders. Lost 21 builders so far. But obviously, it's needed up here. There's a huge chunk of Mayans Arbalest here. Mr. Dobson with 30 villager kills at this point. And the army mass of PSIB able to contest the 2 vs 3 situation up here and also apply pressure on the Saracen side. Oh, we have the actual KD stats here. It's very much on the positive side for Mr. Dobson here, 122 to 56, that's just ridiculous. And now adding some rams as well to take out buildings more easily here. I will say you should target the production capabilities as well, but we're going for the TC. Still fantastic job of Osetinas to keep the cavalry archer mass where it is and keep up production out of 3 stables, 3 ranges as well. In the meantime, we have Imperial Age in for Forastero as well. It's going to get those Bohemians, Arbalists with Bracer, and that's the deciding point of the game. PSIB takes the second victory, and at 2-0 now, as we'll move on to the next home map of Dark Leaders. Let's have a look at the statistics again. GG. So Osetinas with the pre-milled rush, good initiative there, but didn't really do any damage. Sadly, it's too easy to wall in towards the TCS. Fantastic reaction by the Mr. Dobson with the Mayans as well to not have scouted the rush, maybe expecting it, and then just wall in towards the TC, denying any easy entry and aggression there for Osetinas. It's basically a fast castle for everyone except Osetinas with the Drush opening, only player opening with the Drush. It didn't really affect the eco that much, but bought him time to wall off, of course. An economic situation not half bad for Dark Leaders, but remember Dufon was rebooming in the end, and as a result was struggling to keep army mass where it needs to be to contest the big fights, especially with Imperial Age kicking in for both the flanks of PSIB. Giving them the Arbalest power spike and a means to close out the game. So next home map for Dark Leaders will be either Hideout or Cenotes. So let's have a look at the draft first before moving on to the next one here. We've spent Berbers Pocket, we spent Indians, and we've spent... Was it Saracens? Saracens, yeah. And you have PSIB winning with Franks. Bohemians, which you think might see play on Hideout as well, and Mayans. So again, not wasting the good civs here, playing for the win. Alright, let's speculate a little bit here. It's Hideout or Cenotes. So if it's Hideout, Cubans comes to mind on these semi-closed maps. Ethiopians maybe. Khmer maybe as well in the pocket position. Yeah, some good hideout civs here. Incas for the Man at Arms Towers even in the team game, but as for PSIB, if it's hideout, Spanish strikes me as a solid contender there. Magyars could make a good flank, and Poles as well, surprisingly enough, with the semi-closed maps to get the Cast Lab to get to their Obuch and Armless to join in. Well, let's just pull it up and see what kind of civs they've gone for whatever the next map might be here. It could also be Cenotes, where we'll see more like classic pocket civs like Lithuanians and the Archers meta to the side. So game 3 is Impact on Hideout. And let's go to the game. Nice. Score stands. We have to give Dupont the purple here to distinguish the colors more easily. But here we are with Hideout. It is Dark Leaders home map, so let's start with Dark Leaders on the side here. Dupont with the Khmer pocket. Not a big surprise on Hideout here. You don't need buildings to HAP as the Khmer or to unlock other production buildings like stables or ranges. You usually need the barracks first. That's not the case for Khmer. So with Khmer, with that wood savings, you could go straight to the Castle Age with 23 villagers and still be able to afford 3 town centers and start booming. Fantastic pocket civ. Amazing Scorpions late game with the double crossbow unique tech giving them 2 projectiles to fire. Or the elite battle elephants with the unique technology of the Khmer boosting the attack as well, I believe. Tusk swords. So we'll see if this is going to be knights in the cast stage battle elephants later, maybe. I'm not seeing scouts as an early option here, but we'll see. It's not like it never happened. Top side here, Dark Wind with the Malians. Wood savings for each and every building it puts down, so that means more wood in the bank after placing the first few houses. And Malians, fantastic raiding options in the late game with the unique technology from the castle, the Farimba, giving the cavalry of the Malians a +5 attack. As a result, of course, Malians are lacking the last attack upgrade, which also affects their infantry, which has +1 pierce armor per age, so the Malians infantry could be scary in certain scenarios as well. They could actually work as a very decent counter or meat shield against enemy archers' fire. Finally, we have Ossetians here with the Malay. So on these closed, semi-closed maps, you'd sometimes see Malay going a fast feudal age, because Malay go up through the ages 66% faster. And then just go for the eco upgrades and prepare for the castle age, and you'll have better wood income and better farms that don't need reseeding as soon. But giving your castle age a great boost because you'll go up more quickly through the ages anyway. This 66% saved going up to the next stage is equivalent to almost around 6 villagers production for the Malay. So if you decide to go straight fast castle for the Malay, you could technically go yeah, what should we say, with 0 idleness time whatsoever. You could technically go 36 pop or 36 pop castle age and match any player going 30 pop castle age. That's not going to happen here, of course, but you save some villager creation time. If you keep your idleness time low, you will still be ahead of your opponents with a better economy to boost it. Alright, as for PSIB here, we have Mr. Dobson with the poles. Poles, they gain gold through mining stone. They get 50% of the stone income added to the gold pile as well. So, say you mine on 100 stone, you get 50 gold at the same time. So, if you want to go Men-at-Arms Towers, for example, with the poles here, as is not too uncommonly seen on Hideout. I'm not sure about team games, but it could happen. Also, it lost a builder to war, by the way. Unfortunate there, but these things happen. So if you go Men-at-Arms Towers, you'll still be mining gold indirectly through mining stone for the poles. And the Polish player, I know, he said that they loved that they added that bonus because of the Poles salt mines, which is kind of the, mining zone, mining in the stone caves. It's representing the gold or economic income of salt mines from the Poles. Probably part of the idea here. But yeah, Poles, will see what happens. They have arbalesters, they have cheaper cavalry when you get to unique technology in the cast stage, so they could spam knights or cavaliers at a 60% gold discount with unique technology, the Szlachta privileges. Excuse me for butchering the Polish pronunciation. And the Obuch, the unique unit, also might see play here, but we see builders moving out now. This is definitely going to be a Men-at-Arms Towers play from Mr. Dobson. Forastero with Sicilian's pocket, unconventional, but there's a lot of Cids drafted, so why not? Cavaliers with the unique tech in the Imperial Age, giving them extra armor and pierce armor. And finally, Mud Tomsky with the Spanish, probably going to play Fat Castle, a castle drop defensively or offensively, and play the Conquistadors here. But let's see the south side. Barracks going up forward. So Mr. Dobson isn't joking around here. He wants the shortest travel route possible for the Men-at-Arms here to join in with the first tower drop forward. So Feudal Age, just a few seconds away here. Who else? Malay went Feudal Age here. Let's see scouting. Doesn't really know what's happening, but sees the builder. Yeah, you know what's coming now. 5 builders. That means a tower. And the militia joining in as well, which... That's a downside of dropping the barracks forward like that, actually. You'd have Men-at-Arms on the way already if you dropped it at home and started production earlier, but might be intentional just to make sure the production happens forward. Good reaction from Osetinas for now to place a defensive tower in the back here, one that blue doesn't see. Will not be able to wall behind here easily, but will at least force Mr. Dobson to enter at a different point here. And with the Feudal Age in, of course, the Palisades become stronger immediately as well. In the Dark Age, they only have 150 hit points. 5 builders, 2 Men-at-Arms, about to be 3 Men-at-Arms, and if you look at Mr. Dobson's income here, it's indirectly collecting gold as well through the stone income. Second tower going up here, but I think he'll need to bail on that to... he's committing actually, sending the infantry units for... No, he cancelled that one, understandably so. That won't go up. Nice tower from Osetinas, protecting further, or limiting further entry for the enemy armies here. Another tower going up over here as well. Went to stone fairly early here to hold off with pressure. In the meantime, the Feudal Age kicks in for all of the others here. It's mainly... Yeah, it's Castle Age for the Khmer player already, so means that with the Khmer, the Castle Age won't necessarily be going straight into the boom now. We'll probably want to make a little bit of cavalry units here, like the Knights, to help clean up the Men-at-Arms and the builders forward here. Unless Osetinas is competent in holding the aggression here. It's 2 very nice towers here, limiting any entry of the Men-at-Arms and builders of Mr. Dobson, who might actually just move on to the pocket now. Or try to find somewhere else to break in, but yeah, again, the defensive towers here should stop that from being a significant concern. Malians just now clicking the Castle Age, getting the eco upgrades, while Sicilians and Spanish have a little head start here. It's only about 20-30 seconds for Mad Tom Skiddle, so we'll see how much of a difference that makes in the grand scheme of things here. bit of scouts fighting here. They're going to trade their starting scouts here without any significant advantage for either player here. Looks like was Dufon losing the scout first though, now being chased by the Pole scout. But that's a fight that Osetinas should win actually, but now the men at arms could switch that up and get a hit in. Yeah, there we go. Nice little HP snipe there from Mr. Robinson. Moving on to hit pocket, knowing that Malay player can't really be punished more. But 2 defensive towers, that's already a value for Mr. Robinson on this side, of course. Oh, Khmer going straight into the double DCs here. Slow military after all. It seems a bit risky, but the houses foundation going up here as well to form walls in towards the TC here. Huge commitment here in terms of wood and villager working time here. So in a sense, Mr. Dobson is getting value here. We'll see how much damage can be done here from the Poles side though. Castle going up for the Spanish here. Nice defensive spot here. Limiting essentially any entry from the Malian's counterpart up here. And Darkwind, expecting the Conquistadors play, also drops a defensive castle at home base here. Those wills should die to purple. I mean, this purple have made 2 or 3 knights here. Then it's goodbye towers and villagers. Is pulling them back home though. They're probably just gonna go all the way back home here. 2 villagers killed by Mr. Robinson. I guess that was on Osetinas side most likely. Rewalling here now and going to stone to prepare for that castle transition, which is researched more quickly for Malay anyway. And the farming eco is on point here. Eco upgrades are in as well. Malians in boom mode here. Nice TC on the golden stone over here as well. We'll see how Darkwind holds off against the Conquistadors play over here. Always so annoying to play against Conquistadors in the castle age. They aren't easily caught up with. You can't really use knights because they're just hit and run with their gunpowder. Yeah, they're essentially a mounted hand cannon, right? So they have high damage output and they could also evade fights through hit and run. So they have cavalry archer class armor though, so skirmishers is a decent response. Elite skirmishers in the castle age, probably the best response to Conquistadors play. Does Orange know though? The Orange hasn't seen the castle, but probably expects it from the Spanish regardless. And this TC going out outside here, I guess it will go up in time here, but with the Conquistadors out a bit earlier, Mad Thompson could have stopped this. Jepet was coming out. I'm not sure if I'm liking that against the Conquistadors player. Conquistadors 1 more range. And obviously higher hit points as well. Forastero now joining in with the Sicilian Knights here. So again, they're going to pressure the Malay here, who isn't up yet. Didn't even click Castle Age. It's going to research quickly for the Malay here, but food and gold count far off. Maybe the Man-at-Arms Towers is going to prove beneficial after all here, delaying the Malay to the... Oh wait, there it is, was queued behind the villager, so never mind. We can see Malay in the Castle Age soon enough. Moving on now, not a lot of army for Dufon just yet, but a couple of monks here to obviously potentially get conversions in, or more importantly, collect relics throughout the game as well for a little bit of a passive gold boost. Yeah, these old men always chase away the knights for some reason. Monk conversions, that's RNG. Simple as that. And here comes the Pole's castle, just as Osetinas reaches the castle age. Mr. Dobson is ahead through that gold mining, through stone mining, and is able to place a castle here with the stone not spent on forward towers. Will possibly be able to break through here. Obviously doesn't have the economy to spam knights just yet, but continuing the pressure forward here and establishing some more economy at home, presumably establishing a lead over the Malay as well, or at least matching the economies currently. Meanwhile, on the other side, the Conquistadors are keeping the aggression up here. Loom wasn't in yet for Orange, actually, so maybe Mad Tomsky got some sneaky hits in here. It has 5 builder kills. Yeah, 12 Conquistadors total now is actually him hitting the pocket a little bit as well. Get a Monk snipe, that's huge. Monk's usually the best defense against the Conquistadors, but if you are able to get a hit in like that, you'll 1 or 2 shot a Monk. Gets a hit there, yeah. Gets 1 Conquistador conversion, but I think Mad Tomsky is happy with that, trading 1 Conquistador for 2 Monks. Watch purple base, they say. Yes. The mobility of the Conquistadors coming into play here. Did get some builder kills on the Malians, of course, and now just keeps pressuring here. Another Monk, could be another conversion. Oh, nice. Scorpion defense here from Dufon as well. Getting some additional damage in on the Conks, but the Conquistador numbers increasing. 14 Conquistadors out. Second castle for the Poles, are you kidding me? It's a rough time for Ulcetinos in the 3rd game in a row here now with another castle going up forward as well. Obuch in the making, so it's going to be mainly Obuch and a little bit of siege weapons here for Mr. Dobson, with the Sicilian's pocket providing the cavalry here. Some solid pressure applied on both sides here from PSIB as the Conquistadors move in. Another conversion, hopefully. RNG not on the side of Dufon there, but gets 1 conversion at least. I feel like the Conquistadors could just move deeper into the base here, but of course you want to preserve the unit mass as well. You don't want to lose them needlessly, but could potentially be a lot of kills here if you commit to moving further with these 8 Conquistadors. Sensing First Crusade in the future. Ooh, you're right. 4 TCs, 5 TCs for the Sicilians here now. First Crusade for the Sicilians, unique technology in the Castle Age. Will instantly spawn 7 sergeants in your TCs up until 5 TCs total. It's pretty crazy having an army boost like that. That and the Flemish Revolution converting all builders of the Burgundians into Flemish militia are some weird new mechanics introduced in AoE 2 with the most recent addition. A bit unfortunate for Forastero there not to engage against the TC building builders until now, because otherwise you could have actually denied that TC of the melee, but still going to get builder kills here. Probably happy with the damage done, while the Conquistadors still making life living hell for Dufon at one way. Good job at pressuring the, or punishing the triple TC straight boom for the conveyor here. Perhaps with Obuch in them, presumably. Yes. Gonna go eat this TCR data. The Malay player taking not being allowed any sort of expansion here. Is he auto-scouting, by the way? Possibly. There are 17 crossbows out, but they won't be doing too much against the Rams here. And now the siege, the Obuch. I'm garrisoning here. The crossbows should be able to pick off quite a few of those. I mean, this is almost like AoE 4 right here, the Ram infantry push here, except the infantry units in AoE 2 can't build siege weapons, thankfully. So builders going down here though, as Ossetinas at 13 builders lost. Top side, Conquistador still at large here, and getting some hits in on the Malians, but more importantly, Imperial Age at 50 builders only for Mad Tomsky here. Fairly fast Imperial Age here, with allowing for trebuchet production forward here, and also the Sicilians player, who, by the way, already did the First Crusade, so good prediction by PJB937 there to predict the First Crusade entering, just giving 37 military, just like that for the Sicilians, by the way, with the 5 TC boom now in the Imperial Age, getting Elite Sergeant and the plate mail armor, and they are ridiculously tanky even against Archer's fire. So mangonels from the pods would be very useful indeed. Topside, the Treb is out. We have Imperial Age on the way for Darkwind as well, dropping another castle, trying to buy time here. Elite Skirmishers against the Conquistadors. It is essentially a 1 versus 1 on the top side here, while some of Forasteros Knights numbers have made it inside of Purple's base here, and just, again, limiting the army potential of Dufon here. Dufon's plan was to boom by the looks of it, and that's getting severely punished here. I think one argument to make Scorpions over Mangonels is that they are cheaper and deal area damage, but yeah, if you're fighting on your own, you'd want some splatter damage from some Mangonels as well. We do have the First Crusade infantry joining in here though, which is just ridiculous. These bad boys here will shred TCs and everything here. Maybe with some help will do, but this is not an insignificant mass of infantry units here, more than 40 units total here. They could, assuming arson is in, they could easily take out buildings on their own here. Loading the rams with the Obush again as well here, and they're just going to try and bring Ossetinas almost to the point of defeat here. Look at the armor of the elite sergeants as well. They're like light Huskarls here. They're going to be... even the crossbows are going to struggle to take those out. They're not one-shotting, I think. Let's see. Also, Ossetinas doesn't have ballistics, doesn't even have a university, has been pressured the game consistently throughout the game here, being pressured consistently. One thesis down, Rams joining in to take a siege workshop down here. Khmer player defending decently against the pushes here, also able to make it to Imperial Age, but meanwhile on the top side we have Conquistadors and Trebuchets pushing the Malians castles, and if you lose the castles, all you need is some Sicilians cavalry over here to deal with the elite skirms, and there's not much left for Darkwind to do here. In fact, Sicilians Cavaliers here, they would deal with both the two-handed swordsman and the elite skirmisher. The GG is called PSIB trait 3-0 here in this best of 7. First Crusade! Haven't seen that in a competitive game for a while. I don't know why they keep playing here. It's only... it's only Ossetinas calling the GG, and understandably so here, but they want to keep fighting for some reason. Just wanting to take that last fight, presumably. In before 4-0. It's unfortunately quite likely that that might happen. We have one map left for Dark Leaders though, and that would be Cenotes, I believe. Let's just show the map command again here. Yeah, Cenotes, last home map for Dark Leaders, which is essentially kind of Arabia-like. So we'll see. Thank you for the donation, DJB. Which is a casting request of community games later. Wasn't planning to, because I'm going to a concert in like 3 hours and I need to eat before that, but we could maybe do a community game or two before I have to go. Maybe 1 or 2. We'll see what happens. Let's just remove the sieves used for this one as well. We just had Khmer, Malay, and Malians for this one. And we saw Sicilians, Poles, and Spanish winning hideout. So no Cenotes coming up. Could actually be Magyar's pocket for Cenotes, but it could also be Burgundians, decent flank. Magyars, Japanese, and say Vietnamese then for like the Knights Archers combination. As for the other team, I'm assuming Lithuanian's pocket, possibly Inca's flank, Britain's flank most likely, since we didn't spend it already. Could also be Britain's Vikings and Lithuanian's pocket. We'll see. We'll see what comes up. Yeah, we should do one community game probably. Game 4, Cenotes here, and I was I got Britain's Vietnamese right. I can live with that. I'll just start the game because I really need a bathroom break before moving on here. So I'll be right back. Oh, need to set the PSIB 3-0. Be right back. All right. Back in the casting chair. Synotus, final game here. Potential decider. Dark Leaders down 3-0 here. They have to perform a massive reverse sweep to get back into it here. It's never impossible though. We've seen MPL do it in Empire Wars against Terra. So maybe they've just been saving their wild cards until this very last one here. Let's see for the Sibs. Darkwind with the Hunt's Pocket here. 20% faster working stable, that's the team bonus. So if for some reason the Ethiopians and Britons would need to make cavalry at some point, they will benefit from that. Don't think we're going to see that, but 20% faster working stables, 20% discount on cavalry archers, which could see play here given the hills here and there on this map, but it is going to be the scout into knights, into cavalier and paladin for Darkwind most likely here. Right hand side we have Aya with the Britons. 20% faster working ranges. So again, playing into that Hunt's cavalry archer play, should it come to it at some point. Do you have any rushes or anything here? No. So yeah, right hand side we have Aya with the Britons faster working ranges. Left hand side, Ossetians with the Ethiopians faster firing archers. 20% faster firing archers and also 100 food, 100 gold granted upon reaching the next age. As for PSIV, remember we drafted civilizations for 6 games here. So the civ options, essentially, if it goes through many games, will be limited. Here we have the Slavs pocket. Fantastic farming economy for the Slavs, faster working farmers. And the Poyar as the unique unit, good substitute for the Paladin, even though you need a castle to mass them. Right hand side, Mr. Dobson with the Vietnamese. So PSIB will already know the location of the enemy town centers. Likely not to run into anything, any shenanigans here. 20, 21, and 20 pop here for Dark Leaders going up. 19, 22, and 21 for PSIB. No pre-milled rushes this time around. Just playing Feudal Age aggression. Forastero with the Chinese as the last player here. With 59 seconds of idle time. Not too bad for the Chinese. Still should give a slight villager lead over the others and a good economy leading into the next stage. Barracks coming up for Mr. Dobson here. 3 on gold, quite classic for the straight archers. Forastero not gone to gold yet. Is going to wall off here, and with this map almost could almost pull off a straight past castle, to be honest, but going with 4 gold now to compensate for the lack of gold mining on the way up to the feudal age here. Yeah, still has 40 seconds to go. Probably going to be fine here with the double ranges once the feudal age kicks in. Oh yeah, going for the men-at-arms this time around. 40 seconds to go for the men-at-arms. And that's being scouted by Mr. Dobson here. Did see the barracks. Did not see the gold investment. 2 of gold common for men-at-arms. Double ranges here for Mr. Dobson though. And Aya likely not to be let in here since the feudal age is in and the walls of Mr. Dobson are withstanding more hits here. Palisade Gate goes down though, but there's still a couple of house walls to break through here for Aya. Let's see what the others are up to. It should be the double rangers for the Chinese here, I think. Seems a bit short of wood, only 1 lumber camp here. Could also just be a minimum feudal investment and aim for a faster castle age here for Forastero. Just defend with, probably not skirmishers, but archers of your own, and then commit to just 1 range and move up more quickly to the castle age for that gospel power spike. Scouts and some men-at-arms here. It's still a stronger army for Dark Leaders here to try and break through the walls. They're giving it their best here. They have better numbers. More scouts coming in here from Tomsky can also afford that with the better farming eco of the Slavs. Behind the walls here, Mr. Dobson makes the archers to hold off the pressure here, and defense seems to be on point here with scouts outside of the walls and archers within, but archers easily deal with the men-at-arms, of course, while Aya is making archers at home, but only from 1 range compared to the Vietnamese 2 ranges, and add to that that Vietnamese have 20% more hit points on the archers as well. I like that the men-at-arms are still alive though and working together with Darkin's scouts here. 7 scouts to 6, so Slavs with home field advantage here, shorter route to the reinforcements, dropping the blacksmith as well, which could mean defense and or attack upgrades here for the scouts mass and extended feudal age play here, which Slavs shouldn't take too much of a hit from. Second building for the castle age indeed there. Food and gold needed for the next stage, still far off for any player here. Still only 1 range for the Chinese, so tells me that Forastero might want to go for the earlier castle age here, while Ostatinas with the Ethiopians goes for 2 ranges here. Red is here, orange is here, so developing into a 2 vs 2 on this side here now. Actually a third, but that's just a man-at-arms, so I'm not sure how much that applies in the big picture here. Yeah, they're going to be focused on by the archers, but it's still 2 vs 2 here. Scouts and archers and Dark Leaders seem to have the numbers and the strength on their at their advantage here. Hunts already have that +1 armor, in fact, and it's coming in for this, the Slab Scouts as well, but +1 attack now on the way as well. That Slab's farming can be really showing here as the strong as it is. Oh, good reaction from Forastero at home here to pull the villagers in towards the TC, not taking any risks here against the enemy army masses. But the walls have been breached, and the Dark Leaders are in it for some potential damage here. Scouts looping around to deal some sneak damage here. But look at the Bloodlines coming in for the Stab Scouts here now. More Scouts than the Hunts player, also with Bloodlines. Better HP overall. Look at the HP difference here. Almost twice the hit points. It's 2 more Scouts as well, granted. But you don't necessarily expect that at this point. Couple of Mr. Dobson's archers joining in here as well, helping out a little bit, and they actually have the HP advantage here. Is this a better fight for PSIB? Wow. Alright, so the Stab Scouts are going down, but as are Osetina's archers. But not all of them, but quite a few of them. And the Chinese player not losing any villagers in this aggression here, which is fantastic. Keeping the economy intact here, cleaning up each other's armies here, and PSIB, they are... Yeah, it's so even here, all things considered. 2 players going to the cast stage, Vietnamese and Huns, surprisingly enough. Darkwind, the first player to go cast stage for his team. Top side here, Aya pressuring with some Britons, archers here, looking to break in. But I'm surprised that that's that fight there, that it turns out like it did. Yeah, stage in for the Vietnamese here has another wave of archers to become crossbows here, which will be deadly, of course, to the players still in the feud age of the opposing teams here. Aya has a way to go for the next age, 18 archers, however, and once the cast stage kicks in for the Britons, that means a better upgrades on the archers in terms of range as well, so still in a good spot to be in defend from behind the walls here. Of course, when you ungarrison the archers, you have to make sure your gathering point is behind the walls, otherwise they'll ungarrison on the wrong side and you're in deep shit. But still 50 seconds to go for the Britons to go up here. Some potential for PSIV to pressure with the scouts and crossbows here. Darkwind instant 3 TCs here, even on wood and stone for one of them. And those crossbows do 1 damage to push out the houses. Yeah, it's not going to change the next patch though. The houses and palisades will be nerfed. Palisades will cost more and houses will have less armor, so welcome change. Cast stage is kicking in for more of the players here in Bad Pomsky. Still 10 scouts left with the equal upgrades and 17 seconds to go for the cast stage. Matching the economy of the Huns here, but later, of course, to the multiple TCs investment. Later to the Knights production. Dark Leaders, they are taking the hill here, and Britain's crossbows on the hill now. I love that. They're going to get some good trades here now with the extra range of the Britons, and wait, they might be matching actually until Bodkin arrow kicks. No, it's in, it's in. So extra range for the Britons and also the Hunnic Knights here with the +2/+1 upgrades. Was the only way to save Forastero. Yeah, that was an amazing defense there at that point. So what's the crossbow counter? 29 to 4, slight numbers lead for the Vietnamese, and isolated the Vietnamese should have more hit points here as well, by good margins. Yeah, look at that. 20% more hit points and slightly more numbers, 6 more numbers. But then there's a range of the Britons getting those sneak damage hits in here, forcing PSIB to pull back towards the hill here. A very crucial hill between the two sides here. Look at the scouts dancing back and forth here. Arguably value for Mad Tomsky there, allowing Mr. Dobson to pull back behind inside of enemy home base and get to the reinforcements here. He has the home field advantage here now, and negating that Britain's range bonus as well. Of course, Britain gets some trades here. Huns, Knights joining in as well. Surprisingly, it's fine on the left-hand side here. No big fighting going on there. Both low on armies, presumably. No, wait, the crossbows. I'm gonna move out to hit Forastero now, potentially. Actually, having the crossbows joining over here now from Osetinas might not be half bad. Even if it's a far walk, if you have a 3 versus 2 scenario over here, that could be huge, because there aren't really any armies to be mentioned for Forastero just yet. Really like the Knights production from Pocket here, from Darkwing in the Pocket. It's 22 Knights out on field, massively outnumbering the Slavs, but in the meantime, Mad Tomsky has invested into cattle, goes into the Boyars here, and guess what? The Boyar stats better than Knights. Same HP, better attack, better armor. So if you're somehow able to mat Boyars here, you're looking at good trades in even numbers, but it takes a castle though, while Darkwing has the 20% faster working stables. Let's actually look at the production speed of both of them as well. If you can get an idea here. Oh, Slavs housed, actually, so we won't get to see the difference. Yeah, it looks like the Boyars are training faster by good margins here. So that certainly helps. The unique units tend to be a little bit faster in the production, because you need a castle to bind them. One castle like 2 stable. Yeah, makes sense. So Boyars produce almost, or roughly twice as fast as stable. It is Hunt's stable though. So Hunt's stable is 20% faster than a generic stable, so less of a difference. But it's 11 Boyars now to 27 Knights. Still a massive Knights numbers lead for Darkwing, and here's Osetinas pushing with the crossbows forward now, forcing Forastero into skirmishers, and the Slavs cavalry is still a bit off position here, so skirmish defense works until the cavalry joins in here, of course. Here comes Darkwing with the Hans Knights here. They really want to cripple the Chinese over here. Don't want to let Chinese get away with free production here. Another TC going up on the woodline over here. That's TC number 3 for the Chinese to at least defend against the crossbow masses here. But Dark Leaders with some good momentum now, with the huge army masses pushing on the Chinese home base. In the meantime though, huge mass of PSIB to break through on the Britain side on Aya's home base. So I don't know who is going to get the better engagement here. Look at this, could be all of the Britain's crossbows going down. Yeah, Forastero taking a beating again. Oh shit. Are there any armies at home? Yeah, there's some cavalry masses here from Mad Tomsky to help hold off the pressure here. Imperial Age on the way from Mr. Dobson as well, which means that Arbor Nest will be on the menu in 2.5 minutes here. Forastero taking big losses, but with this pressure on the Britain side, it's might not matter as much losing the Chinese player. Forastero relocating to the corner here, but Aya losing all the crossbow masses here, and even with the resources to go Imperial Age here, might not be willing to do so, because you won't have any armies left to benefit from that Imperial Age upgrade. Good pressure here. The cavalry was dealt with though. And Matomsky will probably be sending the cavalry over to this side to help, I guess, Forastero, who admittedly is taking huge economic losses here. Britain is going to the Imperial Age here, but will be contesting Vietnamese arm lesters in peeking in earlier and with larger numbers as well. Second TC coming up just now for Mr. Dobson, actually, so that's been a prolonged one TC play. One TC Imp Impact, Imperial Age. Taking decent trades here, but 4 stables production from the Huns pocket now. Dark Leaders well ahead in military here. Yes, we see the advantage of having stables units over unique units here. Darkwing. They have the corner scouted, but not really taking the engagement there. Top side of setting us with the Castle Age crossbows here, but almost 60 of them. Not something you want to mess around with. Ethiopians firing faster as well. Elite Boyar coming in from Mad Pomsky here. 2 castles to produce them now. Again, it's basically the equivalent of having paladins for the slabs if you can mass the elite boyars. 12 plus 2 attack, but yeah, let's see what elite will bring actually. That's still Castle Age boyars, pulling them away pending the upgrade here. And producing out of both castles. Good job of Darkwind to deny reboom of Forastero over to the side here. With Forastero down to 27 villagers here, probably shouting as the team, "This is GG, I'm dead, blah blah blah." How are you doing on the other side? Dark Leaders, this time around, 150 population lead. And in a very good spot this game, even if they are behind in the progression to Imperial Age. They've been doing lots of damage and defending nicely at home base. Guess they're idling out here to wait for upgrades, wait for Arbalest Bracer for Aya here, and then to start pushing PSIB's side here on the Vietnamese player. Arb's already in for the Vietnamese, though they're camping the hill here, so that's not a place you can enter. Pulling back quickly there, seeing the defensive castle, of course. It's actually a lot of knights going down to the thesis here. I think maybe Darkwind overestimated the Huns knights here. Or, I mean, there's not that many corpses here. I don't know how many Darkwind actually lost there. Definitely good momentum for Dark Leaders, though. Look, red base, yeah, we have some boyars here. Trapping Osetinas crossbow bass. Chasing them probably from the top side all the way here. And look at the elite boyars. 29 elite boyars now. And looks at the, let's look at stats. 14 plus 2 attack. Look at the defense. Look at the that's such beastie boys. Now it's time to shine. Matovsky moves back. I mean, how do you even deal with the elite warriors? They have decent pierce and very good melee armor, so I feel like even halberdiers won't be doing amazing against the boyars. They're not in critical, well, they are in critical mass. In fact, 3 castles producing 44 elite boyars. When was the last time you saw 50 elite warriors in one game? I don't think I've ever seen it before. Britain's Arbalesters pushing here against Vietnamese in larger numbers, so good defense from Mr. Dobson, I guess. But these elite warriors, how do you stop it? Ethiopians at least get pikemen. Instantly, so the shortcut to halves in that sense. Halves do well versus warriors because bonus damage doesn't care about melee armor. Ah, okay. Yeah, I guess. PSIB now in the military lead here, 113 to 52. Forastero also getting a reboom going with 3 TCs here. Did salvage these 2. And the elite boyars mass is no response here in terms of halves. And even so, you still have Arbalest from the Vietnamese to cripple that halberdy investment. PSIB pushing back here. And the benefits of having a somewhat free moving slab pocket. In fact, Matt Tomsky hasn't lost a single villager this game, and is killing a lot of them. Now PSIB with the economic advantage or population advantage, I'd say, and military advantage, of course, with 60 elite boyars here. I hope Dennis is watching this. He loves his boyars. Why make knights with slabs when you can make boyars, he usually says. And this kind of proves that point. Topside, Vietnamese just holding. That's all Mr. Dobson needs to do now, to be honest. I mean, Forastero needs to get back into it, but boyars alone might actually close out this game. Because there aren't any... Okay, Pikeman is coming now from Darkwind with the Huns. So the Huns player going into a panic Pikeman investment, but it's happening too slowly. Not enough barracks. 5 barracks producing Pikeman. Halberdier coming in. Upgrades actually coming in as well, but missing some of them. There's nothing stopping these boyars though. Look at the numbers! 77 elite boyars. Top cap at 80 elite boyars from Van Tomsky, and that's more boyars than Dark Leaders have army total. Holy smokes. Boyars is paladins on steroids. Yeah, I guess you're right. Elite boyars have ridiculous stats here. 12 helps against 82 elite boyars. GG well played is called. PSIB takes the 4-0 in a dominant display here in the final. Cool dude, that boyar. 103 boyars made this game, just matching the Britons in the Arbalesters here. GG well played. In the smallest bracket of the tournament, with only 6 teams in the 1650 to 1800, but we've had some good matchups regardless, and also not a complete steamroll even if it's a 4-0. There's been some good moments. It just seems like PSIB are better at closing out the games and reacting to what's happening on the field. Slabs, resources collected. Actually, the Huns with a better boom. Even more food for the Huns. That's almost a little bit surprising there. GG's. GG grats. 142 villagers for the Huns. Not enough to save the game there against a whooping 80 elite boyars. Ooh. So that concludes it. Congratulations to PSIB for the win, and thanks to all of the teams for participating in the 3v3 Fighters 1650 to 1800 bracket.